What's going on, you guys? Slim here with a new video today, and today, guys, we got episode number 2 of Road to Nationals. Today we're going to be covering the P.U.N.K THERION deck, which I gotta be honest is a deck that has been taking the metagame by storm. For me as a player, it debuted at our regionals in Pasadena a couple weeks ago. You guys already know, made top 4. Kyle, shout out to you, bro, ended up getting top 4 with his first variant of it, and you know, since then the deck has picked up a lot of steam. Players have picked it up and they found it to be just one of those decks that if you really like combo decks, if you really like combo lines, like figuring out like the best ways to play through hand traps and ending on just insane boards, is definitely a deck for you. Like we did in the previous episode with Drytron, we're just going to go over the deck. This was actually the deck that ended up winning German Nationals. The deck lists that I'll be featuring are ones that have won. I definitely want to cover those since I feel that those are the ones that perform the best, and especially since we have our Nationals in a couple weeks here in the States, that just definitely paying attention to what's going on in different areas has been really important. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Be sure to smash that like button if you did. A couple things, if you guys want to support the channel, TCG player link is in the description below. Also, if you guys are looking to get better at the game, my boy Dominic Couch, he's part of Team Top Choice Gaming. You guys already know my locals out here in SoCal. He's actually working to be a coach on Metafy, and definitely check out the link in the description. If you guys want to book some sessions with Dom, you guys already know he has 20 plus tops. He's YCS champion. I don't even need to list his credentials. They're through the roof, and he just continues to get better and better. Definitely one of the best players in the game. If you guys want to learn from the best, definitely check out his link and definitely book a session today. But with all that said, you guys, let's hop into it. Again, this was the list that won German Nationals. It was interesting. I think a lot of people were looking at, you know, Sword Soul. A lot of people were looking at Despia. People were looking at Flundries because it's won in other areas. But this was just a deck I really wanted to talk about because I did these in really no particular order. I just wanted to talk about the P.U.N.K THERION deck. You guys can see I'm still a little sick, but we're getting over it day by day. But we'll get into it. So hand trap wise, he did play 3 Ash and he did play a Veiler. The Veiler serves the purpose of just being the tuner for Celine, and for access code, you guys already know the line. To just OTK the opponent with access code Talker. Ash is just the most generic. It's just very simple. Like any monster plus a plus a tuner just gets you into Hulk, gets you into the access code line, just gets you into combo in general. You got Jet Synchron, which is actually crazy. Is since this card came back on the ban list, it's been causing nothing but trouble. I think it was actually a mistake to bring this card back. Like I think a lot of people were just like, I wonder what this card's going to do in the format. And of course, it did cause problems. And it's definitely a card that I wonder if it'll get rebanned. I honestly don't think it will, but it's definitely causing problems and just like making just crazier things. I think if they just ban Hulk, like, I'll probably take care of it, but we'll see what happens. But the main focus of this deck today really is the P.U.N.K engine. The P.U.N.K engine is crazy. The fact that you can just really utilize teleport, you can utilize like these particular monsters, and it's just like crazy to me just like how strong this deck is. I think that a lot of people forget that this deck is just very, very strong at what it does. And I really like the fact that, you can just work with these monsters as just additional extenders. You can just play through a lot of hand traps with this. I think a lot of people like the fact that, you can just play through a lot of different lines with stuff like this. And it's just very, very solid. Like just Xiamen being a teleport target is just crazy. I think that the way that these cards just play through, like I said, hand traps, the way they just help you extend it, they just help you, just get to your end lines. Like being able to combo that along with Regulus, of course, with the THERION cards. Now, people go back and forth with THERION. There's been THERION ABC. There's been a lot of variants. As you notice, this deck isn't playing the Brave engine, so it doesn't even need it to actually be successful in the format. But Regulus is just a hell of a card by itself, and just playing along with the field spell and along with the other support cards is just crazy. And then of course playing the copies of Lily Boria, just continuing like what the deck really wants to accomplish. And I think like this engine is just very, very solid. Like you notice that they are playing like more of the P.U.N.K cards. Like I think people are just trying to figure out like which ones they want to play and whatnot. If they add all the different ones, like they do run the 1 copy of P.U.N.K, and he did run the 1 copy of, I don't even think I can pronounce that, what is it, Sharakusai. I probably butchered that name, but you saw he did decide to play like more of the P.U.N.K names, and then it just helps you just again play through more things. And I do really like that. I like this approach. I think that it just made it a very solid choice. I think what's nice about this deck is that again, being able to play through multiple hand traps is great. Obviously the only hand trap that does kind of hurt this deck from what I've heard is Droll, but it is something that that you do account for. And as you saw, like what I like about it, just in the spell lineup as well, of course you got the Call by the Grave, but I think the thing that really stands out to me is the talents. I noticed Kyle did play this card too. This is a card that just lets you, you're going to get hand trapped somewhere. Your opponent, if they set up a board and you're going second, you could try to crack the board. They're going to activate an effect, and then you could use talents for one of its 3 effects. Normally I see people using the effect to either hand rip to just get rid of a problematic card as they're comboing when going first, and then going second you could actually just take an opponent's monster, break a board, or if you need to really at the last ditch effort draw 2 cards, it does give you that option too. I think this card's great, and it was awesome to see that the deck actually utilizes it. So it's definitely something that we'll probably see going forward. Of course, you've got the main card for sending your THERION cards to the graveyard. This card's great, and just being able to you know, just play through a lot of things like I've said, as well as Droplet for going second, just gives the deck a very solid, very just solid engine. And you know, your main goal is like to set up Chaotic Ruler, to mill more, and then you do play the Zombie Vampire when we get to the extra decks. There are a lot of things that I really do like about this deck. Prosperity lets you just filter through whatever you need, and then what I like is he is playing the THERION stand up. I haven't seen this card like that much. It's the THERION trap card, so just pretty cool. Lets you special summon and equip, so it just gives you more options as well. So very, very solid list. It was interesting to see that of all decks, this was the deck that ended up winning in the end at the Nationals. And I know, I'm positive this was the Nationals. Was this the Nationals where I believe it was like a Zeus for 12 or something like that? It was like absolutely crazy. I want to say this was it, or maybe it was the Drytron deck. I don't remember, but I just remember Zeus ended up winning one of those Nationals. So it probably was a Drytron one, but I don't remember. But yeah, this list was very solid. Side deck very streamlined. Drolls, Nibiru's, Collectors, Storms. Like, you have your backer hate, you have your Sword Soul hate and token hate, you have your just combo deck hate, and you have your Drolls and stuff for like the mirror and just stuff like Searches a lot, Fludger, stuff like that. And then he is playing the Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, since this deck really does like to synchro. This just gives you an option for time. Like, honestly, you have to admit, no matter what format we're in, excuse me, no matter what format we're in, like, there's just time is a factor, and you need to be able to play around it. So this card just kind of gives you that oomph. It also can break a board and just burn your opponent, so it's just an option that you have since you can synchro so easily in this deck. And then the extra deck, you just have, you know, you do have the fusion that can come up, you do have the Baron de Floor, you do have your main guy, Chaotic Ruler. This card is just crazy. Just being able to mill, being able to add what you need and just do your combos is crazy. Formula Synchron gets you there. But I think the main reason why this deck is so crazy, the main reason, if I can convince you of anything, to play this deck for Nationals, the reason why this deck is so crazy is this card. This card literally says you cannot play the game. This is literally Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity. I haven't seen this card in ages. It's actually an old card, and for a lot of people who don't know, it's quite hard to make, but it does take two tuners plus 1 non-tuner Dark Dragon Synchro Monster. So basically you make one of your dragons and then you just make things going with it, so it's pretty crazy. But the crazy thing about this is when it's synchro summon, you can activate this effect for the rest of your turn. Your opponent cannot activate cards. Also, cards your opponent controls cannot activate their effects. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. You literally cannot play. You literally cannot play. They make it on your opponent's turn because they use what is it? They use Formula Synchron, I'm sure, for the combo, because you're able to just do it real quickly. Yeah, because you're able to do the quick effect with it. And yeah, this card literally says you can't play, and it's absolutely crazy. From what I've heard, whenever this just comes out, it's game. So I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, it's pretty crazy. But I think this is definitely one of the reasons to play this deck, is that it just gives you that almost like, basically, I mean, it's like true King of all calamities. It's Hot Red. It's literally King Calamity. Like, it's crazy to me that this card is actually playable in 2022. The fact that they found a way to play it and this is the deck to do it is just crazy. So definitely one of the reasons, along with some of the other cards in the extra deck, are just solid. The End Punisher, you've got the amazing Dragon for P.U.N.K, Zeus, like I mentioned, the Zombie Vampire. Like, this in conjunction with Chaotic Ruler, you're just milling like 9 cards. It's crazy. You've got the access code to end games, Appaloosa that's just set up an unbreakable board combo, way to Appaloosa, way to get to access codes, and of course sleep for this and stuff. But I think overall this deck is very solid. Again, this was the deck that won German Nationals. Definitely check out the live deck profile if you guys want to learn more about the deck. I think this is a very solid option, and those of you that are huge combo deck players, definitely give it a chance. I think this is a deck that, in the hands of the right pilot, like I've said with decks like Drytron, you will see a lot of players actually giving this deck a chance. This is definitely a deck you should prepare for. As you can see, Droll is definitely a solid card against it, and just Nibiru, of course, like being able to play through the combo lines and being able to see like how to navigate this deck is very strong, and also navigating how to play around it. But it's definitely a solid choice. It'll definitely be a deck we see at Nationals. But that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to smash that like button if you did. Again, check the links in the description for my boy Dom's Metafy page, as well as the TCG player link if you want to support the channel, as well as Patreon. And let me know what you guys think about the P.U.N.K THERION deck going into Nationals in a couple weeks, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.